びっくりしました。ありがとうございます。
It's scoring time.
It has been 9 long years since the last Armored Core game hit the market with Armored Core Verdict Day, and now, finally, we're back, baby. Fromsoftware as a company has come a long way since Armored Core Verdict Day. As a company, they've gained international renown, and they've put out some of the best gaming products that the world has seen. With that being said, there's a lot of new eyes on Armored Core, and there's a lot of speculation going on. I want to put some of those rumors to rest and just have a little chat about what I'm hoping to see as a longtime Armored Core player. First of all, let me gush for a moment. This trailer looks incredible. From the color choice to the cityscapes and the mech designs, even just the sounds of that bird minigun, it brings a tear to my eye. The trailer also shows some concepts that seem out of place in an Armored Core game. The mech with a backpack, I think, stands out as, what the fuck is that? But we got an interview. Thank God IGN is dumb enough to ask some of the questions they did. I'm going to be going over that interview in this video to dispel some rumors, as well as to justify my incredibly opinionated takes. Now let's get into the elephant in the room. IGN, in all their wisdom, asked, is it fair to say that Armored Core 6 will be closer to the Soulsborne games than the series has been in the past? Hidetaka Miyazaki, 2022. No. I think that wraps that up, folks. It is not going to be a Souls-like. You may rest now. Next up, in their infinite wisdom, IGN asks Yamamura, will this be like Sekiro? No. It will have speed-changing aggressive combat, but that's a very vague way to compare the two games, and I don't think that in any way implies that it's going to be like Sekiro. The final rumor I want to just ice with this interview is in regards to the backpack and open world. IGN, again, brilliant question here, guys, top notch. The moment in the trailer where there's a mech looking out over the horizons and it was wearing what looks like a backpack, does that confirm that this game will have open world exploration with mecha? To be clear, and this is Yamamura, AC6 will feature a mission-based structure, classic Armored Core, to the single player. It's not fully open, it's going to stick to that mission-based structure. No open world, no mech backpack, that's just a dramatic representation of what it might be like to be a mech pilot working on Rubicon. With that trash out of the way, I think we can move on to a little healthy speculation. Let's start with what I think is going to be at the forefront of any Armored Core player's mind, mobility. Mobility is one of those changes that has come in every generation of Armored Core, whether it's a small speed increase or a massive one, including quick boosting, over boosting, jumping off of walls. All these things have come and gone as we've gone through the Armored Core series, so it leaves the question, what's going to change with 6? Personally, I hold Fromsoftware in high regard. I think they are a very smart company. I think they are in tune with what their communities are interested in, and I believe they have the artistic integrity to stick to their guns when they know something works. And it's from that respect that I form my opinion. I predict that we're going to see a style of combat that takes elements from 4 and 5, but slows down from the insanity that we saw in For Answer. For the uninitiated, you go from an average speed of maybe 250 kilometers per hour in the 3rd gen to upwards of 800 kilometers per hour, or even over 1,000 in For Answer. What 4th generation Armored Core gave us in terms of mobility was quick boosting. Quick boosting spends increased energy to give you a fast burst of speed on a cooldown. Admittedly, the cooldowns are far too short in For Answer, it results in quick boost being spammed, and in my opinion kind of degrades the gameplay. But the quick boost at its core, I think is very interesting and something that does have a place in Armored Core. 5th generation kept the quick boost, but got rid of flying. I don't appreciate that change, but I did like that they added a mechanic that allowed you to jump off of buildings and other vertical planes. I think that's sick. I think that is something that can totally be worked into a modern core game. So to summarize my prediction for what we're going to get in terms of mobility in Armored Core 6, it's going to be quick. We're going to have options. It's not just going to be throttling your boosters and, pumping the brakes. It's going to have elements from the more modern games. We're going to have quick boosting. I predict that we will see wall jumping make a return. Over boosting, 100%. Hopefully, legs have a place. It was very weird never using your legs in For Answer, but that's just my opinion. Now I'd like to talk about weapons and parts in general. Parts selection has largely defined Armored Core for a long time. One thing I think we all care about is how many parts. I'm not going to pull it up again, but in the interview they do mention this quite a bit. Lots of parts, and customization being a focus internally of what they think makes Armored Core fun. And I agree. That's also why they're sticking to the mission structure. For these predictions, I'm primarily going to be referencing the trailer. So let's take a look at that quad AC first. The quad AC has a bomblet dispenser that we see flick off of the left arm, and the left arm is also depicted as using an energy shield. So as one of my first big predictions about parts, I'm predicting multifunction parts. Bloodborne had them, Bloodborne guy directing it, multi-use part and trailer. I rest my case. Now, to what extent that will go, I have no idea. Gun with laser blade, maybe, but I'm not going to say anything explicit. Moving on from the quad AC, we have the one that it fights with, a biped with a pile bunker-like weapon. We can see pretty clearly that it emits an energy pulse, staggers the quad, and then goes in for the kill. I think that pulse is going to be something like primal armor. We did see an energy shield on the quad leg AC, which also supports that idea that primal armor will make a return. And I think that also might tie in with this new substance we're talking about. Melange, I think they called it in the early consumer surveys. Moving away from the mechs engaged in Mortal Kombat, the other depicted biped is shown to reach up over its right shoulder, maybe swapping weapons. In Armored Core 5, instead of having back-mounted weapons, you could switch between your arm weapons. But on the other shoulder, we see something that looks more like a traditional Armored Core missile pod. This tells me that we may have the option for back weapons and also the option to switch between arm weapons, depending on player choice. Personally, this idea appeals to me. Back weapons traditionally have poor tracking, they have a reduced cone that they can fire in, where arm weapons are generally lower damage, lighter weight, but they have the arm to aim them and articulate, making them easier to track a moving target with. I think that wraps up what I want to talk about in terms of parts. We didn't see any confirmation of EO cores, we didn't really see extensions used, and we didn't see tank legs. I hope we get tank legs, but we saw quads, we saw bipeds. I'm sure reverse joints will be there. But other than that, we didn't get much from the interview or the trailer to really say any other specifics or make any other informed guesses about what will be in Armored Core 6. I don't plan on making too many story predictions at this time, other than I hope that, above all, we have multiple endings and branching mission paths. I just played through Last Raven on stream recently, and holy shit, was that an amazing time. Seeing how my actions influence the world, getting mail, that was dope. For Answer had something similar. Bring it back. The final topic of discussion that is at the forefront of my mind and a lot of people that I've talked to about this, what about the multiplayer? We got some information in the interview that Versus is making a return. I think we can expect that to go up to 4v4 or 8-player free-for-all, like we saw with For Answer, as that was running PS3 hardware, and it worked fine. But it's very up in the air if we're gonna see anything like with Verdict Day, that kind of conquest team play type mode. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, but with their focus on the story per the interview, it would be wild speculation to assume they're going to include conquest or any kind of overarching multiplayer narrative. Within multiplayer, obviously co-op has existed. It was a big part of 5 and Verdict Day. It existed in For Answer. I would love co-op. I love getting together with my friends to beat the dog shit out of a video game or just goof around. I think that's one of the most defining things of the Souls series. You can summon your friend, you can goof off, you can struggle together. That's great, but we've got no confirmation on that. We've got no hints at it, so I have to just reserve my hope until we get more information. I am very much looking forward to PvP though. If any of you listening to this love AC PvP and you want to get involved with some community games, we're going to be doing 4 Answer Fridays up until Armored Core 6's release, and you can damn well bet we're going to be doing games in my Discord as well. So check out the stream link in the description, shoot a follow over there, and there is a Discord link you can access there. That about covers my initial thoughts on the trailer based on my experience with Armored Core and FromSoft as a company over the last 2 decades. Armored Core has a lot of history, and seeing that trailer, it really got me emotional. I grew up on these games, and it has been far too long since we've gotten some love. For the Souls community, I just want to say something to you guys. These games are very different than what you're used to. But if you like Souls for more than the fact that it's Souls, if you like it for the challenge, for the ideas, for builds that you've come up with, for the amazing art direction, I ask that you give Armored Core a chance. It's not like Souls, but it is a FromSoft game through and through. Every iteration of it has been true to that soul of customization, of challenge, and I think there's a lot to offer for you guys. For the Armored Core community, we are so fucking back, baby. Hell yes. I hope that we can come together as a community and overcome our different opinions on which generation is best, which sucks. It's all in the past now. We're at a new generation. We are having a total reboot of the series like they've done so many times before. And if there's anything I've learned from going back and playing these games about how I feel, each generation is good and each generation sucks, man. That's all I have for you. More Armored Core content to come. If you've stuck around this long, consider dropping a like. It really boosts me up in that algorithm that we all love so much. And maybe subscribe. I'm going to be covering any Armored Core news that we get up to and including the release, and I'll be streaming all of it and more on my Twitch channel. Thank you and have a shitty day. Oh, I'm almost dead. I was not looking at my health.
This is the end.
Yes! Fuck you, White Glint.